I got a call from a mother who was in complete panic because she had found out some marks on her daughter's arms and she thought that her daughter was going to kill herself. I am Riri Trivedi. I am a psychotherapist, a trainer and a parenting coach, and today in this video I am going to be talking about self-harming behavior, something that we are finding increasingly very common amongst preteens, teens and young adults in India today. First, let us understand what is the difference between self-harming behavior and suicide. Suicide is an act or a behavior which is done with the intention to end one's life. While self-harming is something that is done not with the intention to end the life, but it is done in order to deal with pain or to numb out from the pain or to feel some sort of a feeling or an emotion. So while self-harming is very different from suicide behavior, research says that self-harming is one of the risk factors for suicide behavior. So those who are occasionally doing self-harming behavior have a higher risk of eventually also attempting suicide. However, everybody who self-harm does not necessarily commit suicide. That is the one thing I would like to also say. So what is self-harming behavior? Self-harming behaviors is when a person harms his or her physical body in order to deal with certain difficult emotions. This includes acts like cutting, biting, scratching, if there are wounds, then picking the wounds, pulling out the hair, burning the self with cigarettes or poking the body with sharp objects, cutting with blades, knives or scissors, also banging the head or physically causing harm to the joints or the bones by breaking certain things of the furniture or by banging the fists or the head against a wall. Self-harming also includes overdosing on drugs or on medications. It may also include, overeating or binge eating with the deliberate intention to harm the body. Having unsafe sex or having sex with multiple partners, and also using excessive social media with the intention to cause damage to the mind body also comes under self-harming behaviors. So these are all the different ways how young people are harming their own selves. And now let us understand what is the reason why young people harm themselves. So self-harming is usually a way to deal with emotions that these children have not learned how to handle. So strong emotions like anger, frustration, anger at parents, anger at self, or when there is a lot of toxic shame or helplessness and the children don't know what to do with these emotions because they are unable to express them to the parents or they don't know how to handle it, then they sometimes lock themselves up and cause harm to their body. By self-harming, they find a release from that pent-up, suppressed emotions. The second group of self-harming behaviors is also when children grow up being numbed out, when they feel they are emotionally dead, they have no feelings. And this could happen because of severe physical abuse, sexual abuse, or emotional abuse, where the child grows up feeling completely disassociated, disconnected, and feelingless. That is when they harm themselves or cut themselves in order to feel that they are alive. The third reason why also children may self-harm is to get attention from their parents. So we've had cases where the parents are fighting in the other room and the child goes in another room and starts harming himself or herself so that the parents can now stop their fighting and focus on the child. So it is also done to direct attention towards the own self if the child is not able to deal with the family environment. Self-harming is also sometimes done under peer pressure. So if the child has a best friend or a group of friends who are regularly cutting themselves or harming themselves, then the child, in order to fit in, might also indulge in the self-harming behaviors just to feel oneness or camaraderie with the friends that he or she has. Self-harming behaviors also happen when a child has extreme anger and criticism towards own self. So if the child has grown up experiencing toxic shame, the child feels I'm worthless, I'm useless, I don't deserve to be loved, I don't deserve to live, and I am absolutely not good, I cannot do anything right. So there is a lot of anger and hatred and frustration at their own selves, and this is also sometimes directed as a self-harming behavior in order to harm themselves or punish their own selves. Sometimes children use self-harming behaviors in order to emotionally blackmail their parents, and they threaten to self-harm or threaten to commit suicide in order to force the parents to give them money or give them the freedom that they are not getting, or in order to have the parents agree to certain things that they are not agreeing. Self-harming can become an addiction. So those who start self-harming behaviors tend to get addicted to it, and once they realize that it is giving them relief, it is giving them a catharsis, or it is helping them handle certain difficult emotions, then they get used to it. It becomes a habit. I must tell you that oftentimes children cut themselves in places where parents can't easily find out. So it may not always be the hands, but it could also be the thighs where, the cutting marks are not easily visible. There are other causes, according to research, that also cause self-harming behaviors. That could be mental health challenges like anxiety, depression, loneliness, hopelessness, helplessness, and children who are oftentimes bullied in school or college also might indulge in self-harming behavior. When a child has gone through sexual abuse, or the child is coming from a dysfunctional family environment where there are constant fights in the family and the child is unable to deal with it, this can also push the child towards self-harming behavior. We have seen that children who have grown up seeing their parent constantly or frequently threaten to kill themselves also grow up normalizing suicide and self-harming behavior. So we've had many clients who've reported that when they were young, their mother would often, bang her head, or would threaten to kill herself, or would, slap her own self. And that is how now, as an adult, this person also starts slapping herself or banging her head when she's angry or upset. So it can also be a learnt behavior that children pick up by observing their parents. If they see the parents are dealing with certain difficult emotions by self-harming, the children also learn to do that. Children who usually indulge in self-harming behaviors are the ones who have poor emotional resilience. They are the children who may be emotionally neglected and they do not know how to process or manage their emotions because they were never taught to do that. So these are the children who could be very lonely, who could be isolated, who could be bullied, or they may be introverted, with very strong inferiority complex. And these are the kids who are unable to process emotions or deal with difficult situations, and that is why they may indulge in self-harming or eventually suicide behavior. So let us now understand what are the watch outs for parents. If you are a parent, what are the things that you need to watch out for in order to know whether your child is self-harming or not? So first is, if you find any unexplained cuts, burns or bruises on your child's body and the child cannot tell you how it has happened in a convincing way, then that could be one of the signs of self-harming. If the child is suddenly now consciously covering up the arms and legs, like if you have a daughter and she is now refusing to wear shorts and skirts, or she doesn't wear sleeveless tops, and even if you insist she is not wearing it and she's trying to cover up her body parts, that could also be a sign. Children who are suddenly showing signs of withdrawing emotionally, being alone for a prolonged period of time, having a lot of negative self-talk and a lot of self-criticism and judgment might also be indulging in self-harming behavior. So watch out for such signs. If your child is going through severe depression, which means the child is not feeling like playing, not feeling like talking, not wanting to go to school, not wanting to get up from bed, is socially isolated, or if the child is going through a lot of feeling of worthlessness, uselessness, negativity, low self-esteem, then these are some of the warning signs. Your child may not yet be self-harming, but may be vulnerable to that. So please watch out for these signs in your children as parents. So now I will continue this video in part 2. And do not forget to listen to the part 2 of this video also, where I will be talking on what can parents do to prevent such behaviors and how can parents guide their children who may be indulging in self-harming behavior. So make sure you watch the part 2 of this video as well.